Okay. Whatever is been asked yesterday to complete, is that done? Everybody? What about you three? Okay. Exception error. So, yesterday you couldn't resolve that. Today, sit and complete with that. You both has to help with that. Okay. So, complete it and then we can move further, because as you keep going on projects, if you are completed on the same time, then it is going to be easy. After which you will not be completing. Okay. Same time if you complete it, moving ahead, after as I told Hibernate, we are going to be doing one more project. So, in that case also you might be coming across with the same situation, which if you are not able to resolve the same exception or might be a different exception, you will encounter, because there are few companies which they are asking you to complete with the projects. They are giving you a project. So, like recently there was one company, Sun based company, which was asking for a CRUD operations. Like what you have done, the same thing, on top of it minute changes were there. If you have to do all those things, you should be knowing this basics. Okay. So, today we are going to start off with JSP. Okay. So, what do you mean by JSP? Have you guys heard about this? What is that? Yes, Java server pages. Yes, correct. But JSP is nothing but similar to your HTML itself actually. Whatever you can do it in your HTML can be done through your JSP also. There is no difference in that. Only what is the difference between your HTML and JSP, if you ask me, the extension is going to be changing. The extension of it is .jsp. If you tell, it is a JSP page you are creating. Rest everything is going to be same. Okay. Now the question is, when you have to make use of JSP, because whatever you can do it in HTML can be done in JSP also, means what is the use of HTML? JSP is something which is the question. For example, assume you might have seen many websites right now, correct? So, if you observe the websites, like there is a newspaper website, Times New Roman, one website is available. If you go over there, everything is on static page, you can see over there, one news that they have given over here. But if you see on top of it, there will be a date and time which is running. But everything is static, in that only one content is which is going to be dynamic. Means only a small amount of dynamic content is there in whole static page. That is when you can make use of JSP. Means your static page is ready, for that small amount of dynamic content you wanted to add. In these situations you can use a JSP pages. So, JSP pages is helping you to add a dynamic content to your HTML page or to your front end. How exactly, if you ask me? Using your Java. Using your Java code. Means in your JSP pages you can write your Java code. In your JSP page you can write your Java code as well. I hope it is clear. Till now we have seen in the servlet, in your Java code we can write a HTML code. Today we are going to be seeing in your JSP we can write your Java code. But why exactly when we can write in your Java code itself a front end page, why we are introduced with the JSP? It is because if you observe, whenever you are writing the front end inside your Java code, whenever you want to write HTML code inside your Java code, was it a easy task? If you observe, double quotes were there, plus we used to use it. There are many things that I need to use, because it will become so complicated in that. Correct. So, if you are writing your HTML code inside your Java, then it becomes a complicated. Yes, you can write it 100%, but things are going to be complicated. That is the reason what they have done is, if in case small amount of dynamic content is there, whole is a HTML CSS code, then you can make use of JSP. I hope it is clear. Now, when you make use of JSP, how the working will happen internally, if you ask me? The working will happen something like this. The JSP code which you are writing it, internally what happens is, the server, it is JSP compiler is there. JSP compiler, it is not necessary for you to get the JSP compiler. In the server, JSP compiler is already there. So, this JSP compiler, whenever you execute this JSP page, it has been given for your JSP compiler. This JSP compiler is going to convert to your Java code. convert to your Java code, and in that how the HTML code they will be writing, again in the double quote everything. So it is not necessary for you to make it complicated, internally it has been taken care of it. So this JSP page will be converted into your .java file. From there it is going to be giving to your Java compiler. From there it is a .class file. All those executions you have already learnt in your Java first day, the same process will be continued. I hope it is clear. So then you might be asking, this .java file will I be able to see? Because when I execute a JSP page, I told a conversion will happen and one file is getting created, which is a .java file, and that is given to your Java compiler, which is converting and giving it to your .class file. Whatever this .java .class file are there, it is a temporary file which has been created. So you cannot open and see this. This is just one temporary file which is created in the server, and after the execution it will not be there. I hope it is clear for everybody. Any confusions in this? Why you have to make, when and why you have to make use of JSP, I hope it is clear for everybody. How the execution of things will happen is also clear for everybody. Now let's go and create one simple JSP page and see whether it works or not, because I told you it's similar to your HTML page itself. Okay, just the extension is going to be referring. Let's go back and see this first. Okay, now I'll just take you back. Okay, now what I'll be doing, I need to create a JSP page. Where I need to create a JSP page now? Inside web app, because it is similar to HTML, means where we used to create a HTML page, inside web app, JSP pages also should be created inside the web app. I'll click on this web app, I'll say Control N. Now an option comes in, now I'll search for JSP. I'll click on this JSP file, okay, click on next. I need to give a JSP file name. What is the name of this particular file? So I'll give it as first page.jsp. I'll give it as first page.jsp. I'll click on finish. On click on finish, you got this page. Observe this carefully. First two lines you ignore. After this, all the lines whatever you have you are seeing over here, it's the same HTML lines, right? Whatever we used to get in the same HTML, the same thing you are getting. That's why I told you it is same as a HTML code itself. There is no difference. The only difference is in this you can write your Java content. I think it is clear for everybody now. Now I'll just have one h1 tag to just check whether this JSP page is working or not. Okay. So over here I'll just have one h1 tag. Over here I'll be saying welcome to JSP. Welcome to JSP. This one particular page I want to execute. Now I'll click on this first page.jsp. I'll say run as, run on server, and I want to run this. So I'll click on next, finish, and let's see whether it executes. You can clearly see, and you can clearly see the URL also. How you used to execute HTML page, in the same way it is executed. Localhost 8080 JEE, that's your project name, then the name of your JSP file .jsp. If it was a HTML page, what? Index.html, login.html. This is how you have executed, similar to this. Any confusions in this? Till here everything is clear? Okay. Now, I told I can write a Java code. So, in this sense, can I write anywhere here the Java code? If you ask me, no. I cannot randomly write my Java code. All my Java code I can write over here, but I cannot write randomly over here. Then how can I write if you ask me? JSP has given a tags for it to write all your Java code. Randomly don't insert. I have defined certain tags over there. Inside that you write your own Java code, they have said it. Okay. So let me just show you what all are the tags and what are all the kind of code that you can write it inside your JSP. So inside your JSP, you can write all these kinds of code. All these are nothing but your Java code, correct? The first statement that you are seeing is nothing but an import statement which you used to write it. That's something which is available. The next you can see there is a servlet which we have created, extending servlet. Next we have declared one variable, there is one method which we have declared it, and there is one service method which it is not necessary for us to execute, it will directly execute. So there are different things are available over here. So any of this Java code, if you want to write it, they are asking you to use certain tags. What all are the tags means? There are 4 tags that you need to remember. If you just learn these 4 tags, that is all about your JSP. Because JSP is not like we are learning certain concepts. We are just learning in JSP about how I can write my Java code inside my JSP. This is something which we are going to be learning. I hope it is clear. So what all are the 4 tags if you ask me? These are the 4 tags that you will be making use of it. The first one is directive tag. Next is declarative tag. Next one is scriptlet tag. Next is the expression tag. Why they have given you 4 tags if you ask me? These 4 tags meant for different Java code. The Java code only they have categorized. These kind of code you need to write it in directive. These kind of code they have to write it in declarative. That is the categorization they have done. Okay. Let's see when I have to make use of it, this directive, declarative, scriptlet and expression tag. I hope it is clear. So let's see one by one when you have to make use of, how exactly you can make use of it. Okay. Yes, complete the, you copy it, then we can proceed further. Okay. Now, this Java code itself, in this only the categorization is made. So, what was the first tag? Directive tag. Inside your directive tag, what kind of statement you can write it is only the whatever is the import statement that you have it. Let me just keep it aside. Okay. All this import statement that you have it, these are the statement that I can write it inside directive tag. So how you can represent directive tag is a percentage and @ symbol. So all of your import statement you can write it inside your directive tag. This is when you have to make use of directive. The first tag is, I hope it is clear. The next one is, what is the next tag that you have? Declarative tag. Whenever you want to declare any variable, whenever you want to declare any methods, that is when you can make use of declarative tag, like these 2 statement. Over here what I am doing? I am declaring one variable. Over here what I am doing? I am declaring one method. This method, add method, whatever I have written inside your servlet, will it get executed once servlets get loaded? Will this particular add method gets executed once the servlets get loaded? Yes or no? No. When servlets get loaded, what I told, whatever you have written inside your service method, do get method, do post method will get executed. Did I introduce about any other methods? No. So add method, if you want to execute, you need to call that, only then execution happens. So one method we just have declared over here. So declaration of method, declaration of any variables, you can write it inside your declarative tag. So how you will represent? A percentage and then one exclamatory. I hope it is clear. What is the next tag that we have? Scriptlet tag. Inside your scriptlet tag, any Java code you can write it. Any of the Java code. Means, to just tell you one simple thing, whatever you can write it inside your service method can be written inside your scriptlet tag. Till now we used to write some code inside your service method, right? Whatever you can write it inside your service method, all those code you can write it inside your scriptlet tag. How you will be representing your scriptlet tag? Just a percentage. This is your scriptlet tag. And inside your scriptlet tag, if you ask me, can I write this particular code? Whatever you have written over here, can I write it? If you ask me, yes, I can write it. I can write any of the Java code. But suggested one is, if you are just declaring some methods, write it inside your declarative tag. If you are just declaring one variable, write it inside your declarative tag. This is a suggestion. Sorry? Instance variable. What is that? Local variables also you can declare it in the declarative tag, because it will be inside a method itself. So, method you have declared it over there, inside which you can declare it. I hope it is clear. Okay. So, any declaration you want to do it, that is one. But all those things, can I write it in the scriptlet tag? Yes, you can write it, but suggested not. I hope it is clear. Okay. One last one is expression tag. How you will be representing? Equal to. This is how you will be writing expression. Expression tag, when you have to make use of any kind of expressions, you can write it. What I mean is, I will say a plus b. If I say a plus b, this is like one expression. So, whatever the value of a is there, whatever the value of b is there, that will add it and give it to one result, correct or no? So, it will print you one result, or it will give you one result. So, whatever you write the expressions inside your expression tag, all those output what you are getting it, that will be sending as a response to your client. That will directly send as a response to your client. For example, so I have declared temp variable, correct or no? Temp is been declared as 0. If I just say over here temp, I say it as temp, means what is the value of available for them? 0. We have declared it. So, if I just say it as temp, the value of temp, the output of temp will be sent as a response to your client. Clear for everybody? So, any expressions you can write it in your expression tag, whatever it will results in the output will be sent as a response to your client. Okay. To make you guys simple, when you are thinking of when I have to make use of expression tag, I will just tell you. Whatever you can write it inside system.out.println statement, you can write it over here. Whatever you can write it in print statement, you can write it over here. System.out.println, inside which if you write it, you will get an output on a console. Over here, if you write it, you will get an output on a client side. Clear? But in the interview, please don't say whatever I can write it in system.out.println, I can write this. Don't say this statement. So, any expression that will give you output will be sent as a response to your browser. This is something which you. I hope when you have to make use of each and every tags are clear for everybody. Clear? Okay. Let's take one example and make use of each tag and try understanding how exactly it works. Okay. So, is it really working or not is something which we will see now. Okay. So, let us go now. What is the first thing I want to do is, I want to display the current date and time. Means whatever is the right now date and time that I want to display. How can I display? First tell me the Java code for it. Java code for me to display the current date and time. Do you know or not? No idea. Didn't taught in the class, correct? That is the answer I know for sure. You are not saying it, but this is the answer which you will be giving. Okay. So, let us see how exactly first in the Java, how to get the current date and time. Then I will create a JSP page inside which how we will get it, we will see about it. Okay. So, I will go back. I will create one Java class, simple. Okay. Inside your Java itself, source main Java, I will create it. So, I will say it as class demo, I will say it as. Okay. And I will have main method. Okay. Now, inside this I will be creating. How can I get current date and time? Means there is already a class available, built-in class which is available. What is that? Local date is a class if you want to extract current date. Local time is a class which is helping you to extract the current time. Okay. So, now what I will be doing? I will say local date, built-in class, and inside this there are methods available. There is one method available now. Now is a method. This is something which you have seen when you are learning about SQL also. Now is a method available which will help you to give the current date. Same over here. There is one method available called as now. If I just call this particular method, it will give you current date. and local data class is available inside your java.time package that you need to be importing. Okay. So, whatever it gives you, I will just collect it and I will be saying it as date. Now, I will print this. So, if I were to print this value and execute your code, I will say it as Java application. You can clearly see. Are you getting the expected output? So, today's date is 23rd and you are getting it. Okay. Now, in this also you can extract date separately, month separately, year separately. So, using this date, there are many methods available inside which using which you can extract it. I hope it is clear. How you can do it if you ask me? If I were to say date dot get, you can clearly see day of month is available, day of year is available. So, get year is available, get month is available, get day of a week is available, like this there are different. If I just have to show you few things over here. So, I will say get month. What is the month available? 2nd means which is February, the same thing will do. Next, I will be saying it as get year. So, I will say it as get year. If I were to execute this, what happens? February and year is 2024. Like this there are n number of methods are available using which whatever the details that you want to extract, you can extract it. Clear? This is about how to extract the local date. Now, there is one more thing which I asked for, local time. For that they have defined one more class. The class name is again local time is a class name. Okay. So, now how can I do it? So, I will say it as local time. Inside this again you have a method called as now. Now will give you current time. Okay. So, I will say it as now and it will give you current time. So, I will say it as time. And now if I were to go and execute this time and print it, you can clearly see. So, it is giving you in 24 hours format, cross verified, correct? Okay. 17 means it is 5 o'clock. Okay. So, 5, 25, 19 and all those milliseconds, everything it is giving you. Now, in that you want only the minute, you want only the second, that also hour you want to extract, you can extract. Why I am saying all these methods also, if you ask me, sometimes they will ask you to print it in different format. If you want to change it, then you need to extract month separately, you want to extract date separately, you have to extract year separately, so that you can make your own format and print it. That is the reason you should know how to get the format. I hope it is clear for you. So, in this if you want, I will just show you methods. So, I will just duplicate this, and if I were to say time dot, I will say it as get hour is available and get minute is available, get second is available, like this there are the different methods. So, I will just show you one hour, next one is minute. So, I will say it as get minute is available. And now, if I were to execute this code, you can clearly see. Any confusions in this? So, how to extract local date and time in Java is clear for everybody? Okay. Now, the same thing I want to do it in JSP. Using JSP, I want to extract the current date and time. How can I do it? Using the same thing. If I say local date and time, it is giving you date as a value. Now, I can write in this way also, right? I will just comment all these things. I am commenting all these things also. This also I will comment it. Okay. Now, I will directly say system.out.println. Can I say something like this? Local date and time dot now. Can I say this? Because whatever it is giving you, we are collecting and then printing it. Instead of collecting in variable, directly I am printing it. That is also I can do it. So, now I will just execute this and if I wait to execute, now also you are getting this date. I hope it is clear. So what are the Java codes I need to write if I, in case through JSP, if I have to get the local date and time, what are the Java codes that I have to write? One is the import statement. Next one is, this is one. Okay. Now which are the tags I need to make use of to do this? Directive tag to import, to write the import statement. Next. So scriptlet tag, expression tag, but I suggested based on a requirement which is suitable, first use that. Last option should be the scriptlet tag. So over here expression tag. To just make it simple, I have told you whatever you can write it in system.out.println, same thing you can write it in the expression tag. Just remember that. Okay. Now let's go back and do this and check in the through JSP will you be able to get the current date and time. Okay. Now what I want to do is, instead of directly getting date and time, I want one page. Over here assume one name should be there and there should be one submit button. On click on a submit button, it should redirect to a JSP page and display you date and time. Clear? This is just a requirement I have. Let's go and do this particular part. Okay. So now what I'll be doing is, I'll go and create one HTML page, simple HTML page. Okay. Inside your web app, I'll say an HTML. I'll say it as get date time dot HTML. This is something which I wanted, that's why I will. I'll click on finish. An HTML. Over here what I want just one simple form. Inside this name should be there and one submit button should be there. Okay. Let's create this. So what I'll be doing over here is, I'll say it as form. Inside this I want one input field name. I'll say it as input. Next, type equal to text, and I'll have, okay, I'll have one BR tag. Okay. Next one more is input type equal to submit. If you want directly you can have one button. Okay. So now which is the JSP page which I want to redirect is first page.jsp is there. Here only we will do this operation. Now first I want to get a date. How can I get it? What is that I need to say over here? What is that I need to write over here? First I need to have a directive tag. Okay. Whenever you have to make use of a directive tag, there are three things comes into picture. What is that if you ask me? This is how you will be representing directive tag. Correct? Inside this directive tag, there are three things you will be saying it. One is called as page directive. One is called as include directive. One more is called as a tag lib directive. So there are three directive tags which is available. Why you have to make use of three? When you have to make use of these page directive, include directive, tag lib directive, in detail we will see at the end of the JSP class. Okay. But today which particular directive tag I need to make use of if you ask me? Page. Page in the sense, to just make you simple, inside your page directive tag you will have all the information related to that JSP. Maybe some error page you are defining, something you are importing from other page, every information you will be having inside your page directive. Okay. So now I need to define a page directive. How can you define if you ask me? So I just have to say after this direction page I need to be saying. I hope it is clear, page. And inside this page there are n number of attributes are available. Inside this page directive there are n number of attributes. Now what is the operation you want to do it using this directive tag? Import. Then you need to be making use of attribute called as import. Import is one attribute which I need, and then I need to be specifying inside this double quote what is the import statement I need to write completely. I need to be writing. It is called as a, usually technically they will call it as value, and this they will be calling it as attribute. Clear? And in like this, there are n number of different attributes are available for a page directive itself, which we are going to be seeing in the next session about it. But this is one attribute which right now we are using. Any confusions? Okay. Let's go back, make use of this attribute and try importing the local date as well as a time. Okay. So, I will just go back over here on top. You can clearly see what is that? They have already by default there is one particular tag they are using. What is that? Which tag? Directive tag they have made use of, and there are already few attributes they have defined. If you observe, language is a directive, content type is one attribute available, page encoding is one more attribute. What all those things in detail we'll see in the next session. Okay. Now I want to import, let me just make use of this tag and import. Now I will say it as page. Inside this what I want to do? Import. Now I say the value. So I'll just go over here. What is the value it is available? Java dot, it should be date. Okay. So it is java dot time dot local date. I'll just copy this. I'll go over here. Inside this I'll paste it. Okay. Now one more I want. Time also I wanted. Okay. We'll see about this later. First let's get this date alone. Okay. Now import is done. Next what I need to do? I need to make use of expression tag. Inside expression tag what I need to write? Whatever you can write it inside your print statement, same statement you can write it. I'll just copy this and go over here and paste it. I hope it is clear. Now I have written this particular value. So it will be giving you local date, means current date value it will be giving. Let's execute and check. First tell me, on click on the submit where you are writing get date and time, will it redirect to this particular first page.jsp and execute the code? No. Then how can I do it? Action. Okay. So I'll just go to that. I'll write it as action. Now inside action what I need to specify? How you used to redirect from one HTML page to other HTML page? File name dot HTML. Completely we used to the same thing over here. If you are redirecting from HTML to HTML, what you used to do? The same thing HTML to JSP. So what I need to write over here? Yes. So first page dot JSP I need to be same complete thing. Clear? Now let's execute and check is it really working or not. Okay. So I'll just go to this get date and time. I want to execute this. So I right click on it, run on server. I'll say there was one thing. Okay. So let me just execute. Something I can give it over here. So I'll just randomly give you one value over here, Bob. On click on the submit button. Are you getting the date information? Now if you want to bold it, if you want to color it, that also you can do it. How, if you ask me, let me just take you back. I'll go to this first day, the same statement what I have written, I'll cut this and I'll put this inside H1 tag and I'll paste this over here. What I've did, I have put this inside a H1 tag, after which I'll say date colon and this, so that I want to mention it as the date and then a value. Okay. Now if I have to restart the server, and remember one thing, when you used to write a servlet code, we used to restart the server, correct? When you used to write a HTML code, I told it is not necessary for you to restart your server. But when you write your JSP code, you need to restart your server, because I told you JSP is running on server because there is certain conversion which is happening, and here dynamic content only it is getting generated. I hope it is clear. So I'll just restart my server. It has restarted. I'll just go back, refresh, I'll give some values over here, I'll click on submit. Can you see? So if you want some coloring, that also you can provide it over here. Okay. This is about a date. Next, I want to extract time also. How can I do it now? Local time I need to be saying. So right now one import statement is already there. I want one more import statement. So if you want to provide for any attribute multiple values, comma separated, you need to give. Okay. So for the same import attribute, I want to give multiple values. How you can give? I'll just put comma and then put one more value. Right now it is local date, but I don't want local date, it should be changing it to time. Okay. Now over here what I will be saying, the same thing I will just duplicate, and over here only changes is time. So here also I will just change it to time. And now if I wait to restart your server, go back, re-execute, I will give it as Bob, click on submit. Are you getting? You keep refreshing, the second is going to be changing over there. Clear? So this is how you can generate a dynamic content from your JSP. So if in case whole front end you have designed, it is not necessary for you to rewrite a code to generate a dynamic content. Java code you can write it inside your JSP. Clear? So if you have written it as extension as .html, just change it to .jsp. Extension is going to be changing. Okay. So now you have understood about two tags how to make use of. What is that? One is direct to tag, one more is expression tag. Now there are left out with two more tags. What is that? Declarative tag, scriptlet tag. Let's see how exactly I can make use of other two tags. Now my expectation is, this is the expectation, means if user means one page has to be designed where you need to take one integer value from the user. If user has given 3 and click on submit, you need to print a pattern with 3 rows and 3 columns. If user has given it as 5, it should print the same square pattern but 5 rows and 5 columns. I hope it is clear. So everybody know how to get this page. Okay. Now let's focus on this printing pattern. Everybody knows how to print this pattern, correct? Okay. So can you tell me how to print that? A for loop where I should start from 1, I should go till n value which has to be taken from the user. Okay. N I less than equal to or less than? Equal to n I plus plus. Next, again inside this a for loop where j should start from j less than n j plus plus. Inside this system dot out dot println star. Okay. Next, is println. Okay. Now which tag I need to make use of? Scriptlet tag. Okay. I have to make use of scriptlet tag. This is a expression tag. Why? Okay, int I we will declare that. So any other? Okay, let's go write this much and check what all are the things. But you tell me n value I need to take it from the user. So on click on a submit, a request has been coming for this. Okay, I want n value to be extracted. How you will extract? How? What I told, you can write any Java code, means whatever you can write it in service method also can be written over here, I said. If in case a front end was there and that user entered n value you wanted in the servlet, means what we used to do? From the servlet I want to access that n value, means what you have done? What is that? Completely you say. Request dot get parameter you have said and you have extracted. So This is how you have said about it. Parameter. Okay, and then you used to pass whatever the value that is being allocated, that you used to tell. Means in the front end when you are designing, name is something which we have given, the same thing. Now, but the problem is request in the service method, it was accepting two parameters, request object, response object. That's why you are able to access it. Now, inside your JSP, where is the request object? Correct, using which you can extract it. Now, how exactly you can do it is request object, it is not necessary for you to create it or you need to get it. JSP has already created request object and kept it. JSP has the request object, you just have to make use of that request object. So, how can you make use of it? I just have to say request dot, what is that I need to call? Get parameter. And I need to be saying it as n. And whatever it returns will be of what type? String. I want to convert it to integer, what I need to do? Yes, I just have to do the same thing, integer dot parse int, I need to say parse int. Then I will convert and you can store it inside variable integer n. Clear for everybody? Okay. Now, I am saying system dot out dot println x. Where it will get printed? In the console it will get printed, correct or no? But do you want the output in the console? No. Where you want it? Okay. So, when you are making use of servlet, if you want anything to be written on the client side or a browser, what you used to do? We used to get a writer object. Now, there is no writer object over here. How can you get it if you ask me? Writer object also is being available inside your JSP. You can make use of it. For the writer object, they have given a name as out. They have given a name as out. Means you used to call it as response dot get writer, and it used to give a writer object which we used to name it as writer. But JSP, instead of giving it as writer, they have said it as out. I hope it is clear. Then using this, how can you call it? Out.println, out.print. I hope it is clear. So, if you do make use of it, then you can print the pattern. Let's go back and do this and check will it work or not. Okay. So, let me take you back. First thing what I will be doing is, I will create one more JSP actually. I will say it as pattern.js. Oh, sorry, I will say first JSP file. I will say it as pattern.jsp. Okay. Now, first make use of a tag. Which is the tag which you said? Scriptlet. Scriptlet means just a percentage which you will be writing. Okay. Let's start writing. What is that first thing I need to write? One n value which is being entered by the user I need to write. So, I will say it as int n. How can I do it? First it will give you string value, I need to typecast to integer, just now I said. So, I should be saying it as integer dot pass int, and inside this what I should say request dot get parameter, and what is that I need to pass is n value. I hope it is clear. And now you can clearly see there is no error also, you can see, correct. So, and also if you make any mistake, I will just say it as, are you getting error? Usually when you write in the Java also you used to get it. So, because internally it is giving a Java compiler itself. JSP compiler is converting into Java code, then it is giving to Java compiler. So, a compilation is happening over here also. Okay. So, now I have just, I'll just say it as request dot get parameter, and I'll pass n. and also I cannot write REQ because they have given a name as request. So, I need to make use of. Okay. Next, a for loop where I should start from 1, I should go till n I plus plus. Inside this for loop where j should start from 1, j less than equal to n, j plus plus. Inside this what I need to say? Out dot print or println? Print. Okay. So, I should say it as star. Next, coming outside, out dot println. What is that I need to write inside this? Nothing. Okay. Now, I will just go to this get date and time. Over here, I am taking one text string input. I do not want that. I want to take one integer. So, I will say it as n value. Type I should be changing it to number. Anything else I want to do it over here? Yes, I need to be writing name. What is the use of name? Inside this, the value that user entered will get stored. When inside your request object, this variable will get created. Inside this value will get stored. Okay. So, I will cut this and I will paste it over here. Now, which page you want to redirect? First page? Yes, I will say it as pattern.jsp. Okay. Now, let us restart your server. Server has restarted. Let me take you back. I will refresh. It is taking n value. I will give it as 5 or I will just give it as 3 as of now and click on submit button. Pattern you are getting? Okay. If in case it was square pattern and 3 cross 3 means what? How many number of stars I should get as? How many stars? 3 by 3. What I said n equal to 3. 3 means 3 by 3. 3 means 9 stars. Are you getting 9 stars? Yes. What is the problem which is happening? Println means the cursor is not going to a new line is a problem. How can you do it if you ask me? If in case in your HTML something which is printing in the same line, you want that to be coming in the new line, what you used to do? The same thing I need to make use of it. Yes. So, what I will be doing is I will just go over here. What is that? I am making use of a BR tag if in case anything has to come in the new line. So, again this is a Java code inside which I can write a HTML code. Yes. How you will be writing? Inside double quote. I just have to make use of. Inside double quote I will just go and say here BR tag. BR tag means it is just taking control to a new line. Slash and no. Okay, because it's a HTML code, not your Java code. Okay, so here I just wanted a control to a taking to a new line means you can make use of this. Now, if I were to go and restart your server, server has started, and if I take you back, refresh, I will give it as 4. On click on submit button. Can you see? So, I will give it as 10. Like this. So, any of your Java code you can write, means in whatever we used to do it in servlet can be done, because that was the main thing, request object and writing a response, that is something which you can do it over here. Clear? So, now scriptlet tag also you got to know how exactly you can make use of. What is the one more tag that is left out? Declarative tag. Declarative tag means where you can declare variables, methods is something. Okay. Now, I have one expectation. What is that is? You need to take a n value from the user. Let me just go back itself, n value from the user. But I want a response as something like this. I want you to print it as cube of a number is equal to what is the value you need to print. If user has given it as 3, what is the cube of that number? 9. Let me just give it a simple value 2. Cube of this number. 4 2s are 8. Okay. So, this is how it will be happening and you will get this particular number. This is my expectation. Now, if you want to calculate cube of a number, how you can calculate, you know? It's just the n value you need to be multiplying 3 times. Okay. So, what I want to do is, I want to have one method inside which it will just give you calculate cube of a number and it will be giving you. Okay. So, what is that? How can you write it? How can you write a method so that it will calculate cube of a number and it will give you a result? How can you write it? Okay, public int method name which I will be giving it as cube. Will it accept any parameter? Yes, what is the parameter? What is the parameter it will accept? One integer value n it will be accepting. Okay, inside this what I need to do? Calculation. So, what is the calculation? Cube of this number you need to, whatever is there, instead of storing it, will directly return this value. So, I will say it as return. Again, is this the method which will directly execute or somebody should call this? Somebody should call this particular method. Instance method will not always execute automatically, it should be called. Service method will get called because server is calling it. Server is creating an object and internally it is called. When we are seeing the life cycle of it, we have seen already about it. But this is a method which I need to call. How you will call this particular method? I will say it as cube. And what is the parameter I need to pass for this? N value, which I have to take it from a user. Then what I should say? Yes, same thing what we have written, I should be writing it over here. What is that? Whatever I have written out over here. I will just copy this and paste it. Okay. Now, whatever it returns, what I need to do? What this method will return you back? You are calling this particular method. The method is returning you one value, correct? So, what you can do it as? You can collect it or directly you can print it also. Now, which are the tags I need to make use of? One is declarative tag. So, over here I will be making use of declarative tag. Expression tag, because whatever it gives you, that I just want to send as a response. Directly you can make use of expression tag. Clear? If you write this much, then you will be able to call a method and whatever it returns you, you can send as a response to your browser. Okay. Let us go back, execute this and check will it work or not. Okay. So, let me take you back. I will just go over here. Inside your web app, I will create one more JSP page. I will say it as JSP file and I will say it as cube.jsp. Okay. Now, first thing I will be doing is I want to declare one method. Okay. So, how you will be, which tag you will be making use of? Declarative tag. Okay. So, over here what I need to define? I need to define one method. Okay. So, I will say it as public int cube and it accepts one parameter. What is it? Int n. Next, return. Return what? N. This is how. So, this is how whatever you have written inside a declarative. Next, expression tag. So, I will make use of expression tag. Inside which what I need to do? Call this particular method. A cube method I have called. For this I need to pass one parameter. How can I get it? I just have to say integer dot pass int inside this request dot get parameter and what is that I need to pass over here? Again. Okay. Now, user will enter n value. From that page it has to redirect to your cube.jsp. Then what is the changes I need to do? Action. So, I will just go to this over here, I will just change it to cube. Okay. So, let me just restart your server. I'll just go back, refresh, I'll say it as 3 and click on the submit button. You're getting it as 27. You give any value, your code will work completely fine. Now you are just getting a value, you want cube equal to then value. What you can do it, you can make use of any of h1, h2 tags and do it, okay. If I just go back and do this, I'll go over here, I'll cut this whatever I have written and I'll put this inside one h1 tag. Inside this I'll paste it. Over here I'll be saying it as cube equal. This is how you can make it. And now if I wait to restart your server and check with this, I have restarted the server and if I just go back, refresh, click on submit, you can see. Based on a requirement, you can make use of all those tags. Is it clear about all those 4 tags? How to make use of, when to make use of, all those things. So directive tag, when you have to make use of any import statement you want to make use of. In that import statement, where you need to write page directive, okay. So next, declarative tag, when you have to make use of any methods, any variable you want to define it or just declare it, then you have to make use of declarative tag. The third one is scriptlet tag. Scriptlet tag, when you have to make use of any logic, like whatever you can write it in service method can also be written inside your scriptlet tag. Expression tag, any expressions you can write it which will give you an output and that has to be sent to send as a response to your browser. In that case you can make use of expression. I hope all these 4 tags are clear for everybody. So on top of it, how exactly you can make use of tags, it's up to you guys, okay. There are few more things that is left out in JSP which we are going to be studying in the next session, okay. But make sure you type those particular tags and execute and check with that, okay. And whoever have not done with yesterday's thing, complete it, okay. So that is it for today. You guys can leave for the day. Means whoever have not done, just help them out with getting it. If not, I'll be here itself. You can come and ask for it, okay.